we're going to look at how to use resistance loop bands at home, including our top 5 loop band exercises and a whole bunch of other helpful tips along the way. Hey, it's Dane here from Lift Physio, where we help you overcome injury and maximize your performance. If you're seeing value in this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. It makes a huge difference. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, as we go through, make sure to let me know what your favorite loop band exercise is and why. It might be one that we cover, or it might be one of your own. So whether you agree with me or not, I'd love to know your thoughts. Resistance bands are great tools to use in rehab as well as in general strength and conditioning, and we use them all the time in our clinic. So here are our top 5 resistance loop band exercises that you can do at home. Number 5 is the crab walk. So we've got our loop band and we're gonna pop it around the middle of our feet. We don't have to put it around the middle of our feet. We can put it around our ankles or our knees if we want to, but if we want to make it as hard as possible, we're going to put it around our feet. And actually studies have shown that putting it around your feet will increase the activation through your glute muscles the most out of all of the variations to this exercise. So we've got the band around our feet, a little bend in our hips and our knees, and we're just stepping sideways like a crab. Some things to think about when we're doing this exercise is to try to keep the shoulders stacked above your hips. So we don't really want any side to side bending. We want to be nice and stable through our core. So keeping the shoulders stacked over the hips, that's the crab walk. Exercise number 4 is called the hip flexor march. So this is a great exercise to try to strengthen up our hip flexors. So we're going to pop the band around our feet, lying on our back, and we've got our legs up in this 90-90 position. And from there, we're extending one leg out and trying to keep the other leg still. So even though we're pushing out with this leg, you're actually gonna feel it in the hip flexors on the opposite side, because those hip flexors are having to work really hard to keep your leg nice and still against the resistance of the band. The reason why this is such a great exercise is because so many people that we see have really tight and weak hip flexors all the time from sitting in their desk chairs all day. So this is a really great exercise to strengthen the hip flexors. It's the hip flexor march. Exercise number 3 is a variation of what we just did, the hip flexor march, but we're going to do it in the plank position. So it is the plank hip flexor march. So on our hands and our feet, we're going to drive in with our knees, having the band looped around our feet. So this is a great workout for your shoulders as well as your core and your hip flexors all at the same time. That's the plank hip flexor march. Exercise number 2 is the shoulder external rotation overhead press. So we've got the band looped around our wrists, and we're gonna turn our arms out like this. So we're externally rotating at the shoulders, and from there, moving our arms up into that overhead press position. And pretty quickly, you'll start to feel the burn through those muscles in your shoulders. This is the external rotation overhead press. Okay, so here is a summary of our top 5 exercises before we get into our number 1, which you may not have seen before. Number 5 was the crab walk to strengthen your glutes. Number 4 was the hip flexor march. Number 3 was the plank hip flexor march to work both your hip flexors and your shoulders. And number 2 was the external rotator overhead press to really get those shoulders burning. And our number 1 loop band exercise that you can do at home is the banded bear crawl. The reason this is at number 1 is because it takes an already hard full body exercise and makes it even harder. This is not for the faint-hearted. Wrap the band around your wrists or around your feet. Or if you have 2 bands, why not do both at the same time? This whole body exercise will have your muscles burning and your heart rate going, and hey, it's just nice to move in ways that your body isn't used to. When was the last time you walked around your living room floor like a bear? Make sure to give this one a go. So there we have it. There is how to use resistance loop bands at home, including our top 5 loop band exercises. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.